English Practice, the podcast from SBS News, morning's edition of April 2024, the 24th of April 2024. In this bulletin, the federal government considers overhaul of the immigration points test system, the Westfield Bondi tax bullet man. Looking forward to life returning to normal. And in sport, recently retired NFL player Seth Murphy says education will help prevent future concussions. The federal government has released a discussion paper on reform of a points test that forms part of the CAT Permanent Skilled Migration Program and which has not been updated in 12 years. Home Affairs Minister Claire O'Neill says public feedback is being sought on the proposals, following recommendation made in the migration review led by Martin Parkinson. Almost two-thirds of permanent skilled migrants are selected through the points test. The migration review found the points test should focus on the characteristics associated with migrants finding skilled work and not drive so-called permanent temporariness. Ms. O'Neill says the Australian National University has been commissioned to analyse the factors that drive success in Australia as part of the goal of moving the skilled migration system. Community feedback is being sought until the 24th of May. The French construction worker who fended off the Westfield Bondi Junction stabbing attacker says he's looking forward to returning some form of normalcy after his act of bravery catapulted him into the public eye. CCTV footage shows Damien Garrod confronting Joe Catchy on the escalator using a bullet in the shopping center. The act has seen him dubbed as Bullet Man and now granted him permanent residency after living in Australia for 8 years. He told SBS French, "It has been a long road to get to this point." I did 2 years of working holidays, had to work in farms. Then I had to get a student visa for 5 years, and then a COVID visa. What I was preparing a skilled visa, which is why I still can't believe I've got permanent residency. I've wanted it for a very long time, and I feel incredibly lucky, especially because it was granted by the Prime Minister. But I can't celebrate it because at the same time, there are families grieving, so it's a weird feeling. The E-Safety Commissioner has threatened social media site X with hefty fines if the company continues fighting an order to take down videos relating to the Sydney church stabbing. An initial court hearing has ruled in favor of the E-Safety Commissioner, giving next until today to hide the posts relating to the Wakely stabbing. The company says it has complied with the order temporarily while the matter is fought in the courts. Owner Elon Musk says he takes issue with a global takedown due to concerns over free speech. The federal opposition spokesman for Foreign Affairs, Simon Birmingham, told Sky News there is bipartisan support for the position that X should remove the harmful material. "Will support legitimate free speech, but ultimately, these freedoms do have limits when it comes to content and information, and that can be harmful. And in this type of the case, images such as stabbing of Bishop Emmanuel are not only disturbing in and of themselves, but they are frequently used by people to stir up trouble in communities through coupling of disinformation, misinformation with that imagery." Turning overseas, The Israeli military has ordered fresh evacuations in northern Gaza, warning civilians they are in a dangerous combat zone, but humanitarian workers say they have no knowledge of plans to evacuate Palestinians, with Red Cross officials telling AFP such a transfer would not be possible under the current conditions. Israeli strikes have intensified across Gaza, with residents reporting some of the heaviest shelling in weeks. And more than 250 years after they were first taken, 4 spears stolen by Captain James Cook and his crew after they arrived at Botany Bay have been repatriated to their traditional owners. Representatives of the Lapurus Aboriginal community traveled to Cambridge University in England, where the artifacts known as the Guayago spears had been kept since 1771. It follows a 30-year campaign to see the spears returned to country. Nolan Timbering represents the Lapurus Local Aboriginal Land Council. It's a very important chapter in the story of our community, in the story of our ancestors, and bring these, as I call them, survivors from the moment in time, the shared history of our country. So they are very important to us as a community. They are important to all of Australia. Turning to sport, recently retired AFL player Nathan Murphy says education will help prevent concussions in the next generation of Aussie rule players. Murphy stepped away from the AFL on medical advice last week after multiple concussions sustained playing the game. He says education is the key to addressing concussions at a grassroots level and backs calls for the federal government to invest in awareness and support programs. We learn our behaviors from a young age and they are ingrained in us, so as much as we can reach those younger year levels and younger ages, it's all they'll ever know for the future and all they'll know in terms of how to play this sport. So if we can educate them and really get them into the training from the young age, I believe we'll still be able to play this game like we've played it. And that is all of this practice